Can I ask you both of you, and first you, Ben, we'll talk about bringing the injury of Zach Merritt, and just talk about the midfields and your midfield from first week to second week, your midfield from last year to this year. You're rated 18th on a lot of categories about scoring and ball movement. What's happened in your midfield group? And of course you're going to have Zach Merritt for 8 weeks, but even before Zach got hurt, it seems like it's become quite dysfunctional, your midfield gang.
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty small sample size so far. I mean, we were really poor against Geelong, you know, across the board. All of our players had a really poor performance. So I don't think that gives us a really true measure of where we're at. On the weekend, I think the way we responded and the way we played was much more like the way we want to show up. Certainly wasn't a perfect game by any stretch, and I think we're a club that are, you know, we're continuing to evolve. We're not the finished product at the moment. So, and our midfield has been stretched a little bit. You know, Dylan Shield pulled out before the game. Yeah, now we're going to have to be redesigning a little bit without Zach Merritt as well. So, you know, we'd like to get a little bit further down the track with our season and hopefully build some continuity amongst our midfield.
We spoke on the show tomorrow night. He's not coming in. He's having an operation. Is there straight up and down syndesmosis injuries, or is there different sort of levels of syndesmosis injuries?
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, the initial thoughts straight after the game was there was some concern about a syndesmosis, but hoping it was on the minor end. But a scan yesterday has kind of revealed that, no, it does need a bit of a surgery and a tight rope put around it. So, yeah, that's generally about a 6 to 8 week injury, I think. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think the last 2 minutes of the game, we had Cox with an ankle and Zach as well. So, yeah, really unfortunate. We're going to be without him for a period of time.
There's been a lot of discussion around the tactics in your game, how the Lions responded to Merritt and how you responded to Neil. If you had your time over, would you do anything different with Lachie Neale?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, and one that we're constantly, you know, as a coaching group, I'm sure we're, like you guys, Dim, are constantly discussing that. What are the pros and cons? Because there's always a cost whenever you make a move like that to tag. And probably what I would say is I'd like to continue to develop within our playing list the ability to be able to do something like that, you know, whether it be a full-blown tag, but maybe more so of a ability to just close someone out at stoppage for a period of time. And there's no doubt, there's no guarantees that works, mind you. You know, Lachie Neale, it wasn't like he was a spare player. You know, we had players on him and good players as well, and some of our guys, you know, Darcy Parish got his fair share around the ball as well. But there's no doubt Lachie's a star. He's one of the best players in the competition, and he enjoys playing Essendon. So I would like to develop amongst our team the ability to do that from time to time. And
what's the cost, Ben? And Jim, jump in here. I mean, I often hear coaches talk about, you know, it's a system, and if we make it 17 against 17, it's going to disrupt. What is the major negative component of running a tag or a cooler or a stoppage man or a person who runs from contest to contest with a guy? Well, how does it disrupt the team defence?
Well, I think it depends on your style. I mean, there are teams that are more 1v1, so it's potentially a bit easier for teams to be able to play a tagger or a run with role. Other teams, and we're kind of developing more of a system-based game. And the costs are, you know, if we play a designated tagger in the midfield, well, we don't play one of Parish, Shield, Merritt, Stringer as well. So we've got to weigh that up. That's the potential cost. You know, some clubs are fortunate to have someone who can play in the midfield, be a stopper, but also, you know, be a really productive midfielder as well. So they're the kind of things that we're always weighing up. Certainly the scoreboard plays an impact as well. You know, at three-quarter time, we're down by 22 points. Stoppage had been a score source for us, albeit an inaccurate one. So we're also trying to win the game as well. So we're weighing up, do we take one of our prime movers out of stoppage when we actually need to try and score from either intercept or or stoppage to be able to win the game. So they're all the things that we're discussing as coaches, and there's often there's no right answer. That's why they're difficult.
What does 0 and 2 mean to you, Ben? Does it change any of the urgency? Does it change any of your thinking heading towards Melbourne and a pretty stiff task this weekend?
Yeah, look, it is. I mean, it's certainly not the ideal start for us in terms of wins and losses, but certainly one that we're not losing any belief about. You know, as I mentioned before, we're not the finished product as a team, and we're going to use the course of the season to continue to improve, and that's kind of the nature of the early part of the seasons. That you know, where there's a small sample size, teams are still working out how the game's going, what their best game style, what their best lineup looks like, and yeah, we've got another really good opportunity this week against Melbourne. You know, we're a team that is aspiring to be like Geelong, Brisbane, Richmond, Melbourne as well, and our guys are really hungry to be one of those teams and to be able to play them in the early stages of the season. Our guys are really looking forward to it, and Melbourne is probably no bigger challenge or opportunity you can get at the moment.
OK, Petrarca's had 38, 39 and 40.
How many's Oliver had?
He's a good player, Clayton Oliver, but geez, he does some damage. Well, they both do damage.
Yeah, they do.
So everyone will be looking at Eston this week and saying, what is Rutten going to do about Petrarca? A lot of clubs are struggling to find a player to restrict Petrarca, but you have to have a plan.
Yeah,
don't
of course
you?
we do. Yeah, of course we do. And you know, but with these teams, it's like, where do you stop? You know, with some of these.
So where do you
players,
start? Don't worry about where you stop. Do you start with the team defence, or do you go, right, everyone, give me your best idea on Petrarca?
Yeah. Look, it's a question that we're going to be having some discussion on. And as I said, we're wanting to evolve that part of our game, and yeah, hopefully we can find a good solution. But you know, like Tim has said, you can't nullify them to. It's an easy to say you can put someone on there and that all of a sudden they get 10 possessions, but it's not the case. They're quality players, and they're able to manipulate. You know, what we're seeing, and I think what we're enjoying about Melbourne at the moment is their selflessness. You know, if Petrarca's getting sat on and not having a great day, he'll work for Oliver and make sure he has a good day. And I think that's what we're seeing out of them and the Richmond over the past 5 years. And these are the things to continually weigh up.